Subscribe, please.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Gimpy, and I'm here with a quick unboxing for you of Lando's Millennium Falcon, one of the newer ships that's been released with Star Wars X-Wing 2.0. I mean, I say newer ships, but I mean, how many of us have buttloads of Millennium Falcons already anyway? But it's not like they couldn't not release this thing. I mean, it's got the cool little escape shuttle and everything on the front of it, so of course, you know, I wanted to have it. But before we get started with that, I wanted to give you a promo deck, damage deck update. I borrowed one from a friend of mine so I could take and show it to you guys real quick. But supposedly, Fantasy Flight Games does have one on the way to me. I wasn't going to be very happy about it because I hadn't heard back from them. And then I checked my email and I got an email back from them. I let them know, hey, I pre-ordered the core set. You know, you guys said we were supposed to get, you know, the promo damage deck. I didn't get one. You know, I'm contacting you guys. How can we resolve this? And they contacted me back and said, hey, we've got one on the way to you. And, you know, no shipping charge or anything. You know, it's on its way. Now, my hope is that it is the promo damage deck and not just a damage deck, and they didn't misunderstand me. But I was very clear in my email to them. So I'm thinking that this is going to come out in my favor, but I'm also wondering, you know, is everyone going to be able to do that? Can everyone contact Fantasy Flight Games and say, hey, I didn't get the deck from my store. I didn't get the deck from those I pre-ordered it with. Can you guys take and send me one? My hope is that they'll be able to do that and they've got their hands on some more. I'm not sure. I might end up actually having an extra one. I'll say that later. But if I do, I'm going to have to figure out what to do with that extra promo damage deck. So you guys leave me some comments down below and let me know. Interestingly enough, it says not for resale directly on the front of the damage deck. That's not a card. It's just, you know, not for resale card. And it's the exact thing that's showing up on all the eBay listings that I see from Gen Con. You know, Gen Con promo damage deck, not for resale, $20, $30, $40. You know, and so on. So that's kind of interesting. The big reason people are wanting these, though, is it has, you know, the X-Wing on it, and it's got it highlighted where the damage that is being listed. Like this is pilot damage, so it has the cockpit highlighted. And then, let's see, we have console fire, so this is in the ship. It's highlighting like underneath the pilot, and like the instrumentation has been messed up. And all of the damage deck has actually changed around. Previously, there was damage cards where you would take and have to roll and potentially resolve the damage. None of that is done anymore. It's always action, repair, you know, whatever the damage is, if that is an option. You know, that's not always an option with all of them. But I do like how they've changed up the damage deck. The games that I've played, which I actually have one recorded to show you guys, seems to work pretty well with the new damage deck. Let's see, like this engine, it's shit damage, but it's in the engine, so they've got the engine on the T65 highlighted. So I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, they are, the cool part is it's full-size cards instead of the tiny little half-size deck that the normal damage deck cards are. Yeah, it takes up a little more room on the table, but it's just, it's a cool item, you know. That's my main thing for one. It's the same reason why I want to order tokens and stuff like that, you know. So it's just how it is. Let's see, this one, hull breach, so it's showing a part of the hull that is damaged. I wonder what, oh, and this is the wing that got damaged. I wonder what double damage, direct hit highlights. Let's see, where is fuel leak and fuel pod down there? Where is direct hit? Ooh, look at that. Direct hit highlights the whole damn thing. That's cool. I like that. So it's a neat damage deck. I do hope everyone who wanted one is able to get one. If you did not get one, make sure you take and contact Fantasy Flight Games. Contact them on their Contact Us section of their website. And then don't go to customer service. Go to the game's missing components, and then you'll list down, you just Star Wars X-Wing, because when you go to type it in, if you just type in X-Wing, it doesn't come up. Make sure you type in Star Wars first, X-Wing, select second edition core set, and say that you're missing one of these. That's what I did, and supposedly I have one on the way to me. I'll do an update later if I did get this specific one. sent to me. But let's take and open the Millennium Falcon real quick and see what all comes with it. This is one of the few that I've actually bought for the new second edition. I really didn't need much else. I like their new packaging. Let's take and pop out. Well, this is definitely different from how they've had it done previously. Okay, so, all right, here we go. Now we've got our Millennium Falcon. Let's see if we can pop this out without damaging anything. There we go. Very nice. And there is our cool looking paint scheme. Millennium Falcon should be. I mean, the engines, they have kind of highlighted it. You can kind of see it in the light now. It does have kind of like that blue glow to it. But I have seen some people who paint that part, or there are some people on like Etsy who sell items you can put in there to light that up a little bit. The radar dish doesn't poke around it as much as before. And how does this little thingy pop out? I know it comes apart, but I don't want to like break it pulling it out, because you can see right down there at the bottom it's got a peg, so it can fly around on its own. And then you've got your large base peg there. Does it just pull? I don't want to break it, so I'm trying not to pull on it too hard, but I know it like clicks in here. We'll have to look at the instruction booklet, because I'm kind of afraid to pull on it too much. This is what the inside of these boxes look like now. They've got a little cardboard buffer in there, and then we've got our token sheet, and then our cards buried in there. So let's get our cards out. Come on in. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Usual expansion pack list of all the items that you get with it, explaining any special things like the dock rules and the loose cargo that it has, which that was around previously. Of course, our bases. So you're going to have a small base and a large base rather, for the Falcon and for the escape pod. And then on our tokens, I'm trying to keep the glare off of it. We can see we've got all our large bases, small bases for the extra ship, your eject cargo thingy, the double turret, bubble arc. That's what I was looking up. A bunch of shield icons, which from what people are talking about, and I've seen in the comments, it does seem like a lot of people have been complaining to Fantasy Flight that they did not include enough tokens with the conversion kits, and even with the core set, they really weren't getting as much as they needed on a selection of tokens. So it seems like they're talking about doing something to rectify that situation. This is what I've heard is kind of like scuttlebutt. I don't know for sure what might be happening with that. If I hear anything else, I'll let you guys know. But right now it looks like they're kind of thinking about doing something, since a lot of people are complaining that they didn't include it. But evidently they were trying to limit it down to 6 sheets, token sheets, and they could not cram any more tokens on the sheets, even though supposedly they wanted to. Movement dials, you can see one for the Millennium Falcon here, and then one for the escape shuttle. It doesn't look like the little escape shuttle moves too much, but it does have a red 0, so that's an interesting maneuver. I've been seeing a lot of people who use this, because there's one, the escape craft, where you don't have a actual pilot in it. It's automated, and it's losing charges, these little thingies, while it's out, and it has 3 of them. Once it loses the 3, it explodes, dealing damage to everybody at range 1 around it. And what people will do is they'll start the match with it undocked, so it's burning charges, and then dock the escape craft back to the Falcon up until later in the match. And when they're ready, they basically deploy a bomb. So it's a neat little idea that I've seen a few people try, and it does pretty well. Other side of the tokens, pretty much stuff you guys have already seen previously. Let's check out the cards real quick, see what all comes with it. I have to say, I do like the fact now that all the cards are the same size. It's going to make it easier to keep track of everything rather than dealing with all the different size cards. We've got Han Solo. While you defend or perform a primary attack, if the attack is obstructed by an obstacle, you may roll 1 additional die, which is going to come handy when you've got that cargo chute dropping out behind you, if you've got your mobile arc pointing in that direction, you can do some damage. But you guys can see this older version of the Millennium Falcon, you know, older / newer version of the Millennium Falcon only has a firepower of 2 versus the one we are used to that has a firepower of 3. So this is part of that whole, they're trying to kind of reduce the amount of damage that's been going out. Focus, target lock, and a red boost. So that's an interesting addition to it. A lot of people did put the engine upgrade onto the Millennium Falcon, so now it does have it on there. Lando, after you roll dice, if you are not stressed, you may gain 1 stress token to re-roll all of your blank results. I like that. That's a good skill. L3, if you are not shielded, decrease the difficulty of your bank maneuvers. Yeah, not bad. And Freighter Captain, this is just your basic level. And here we go. This is our escape shuttle. When Lando's on that, after you roll dice, if you are not stressed, you may gain 1 stress token to re-roll all of your blank results. And it's got an innate co-pilot skill. While you are docked, your carrier ship has your pilot ability in addition to its own. Okay, now that's interesting. So you could have like Han flying and then have Lando in the escape shuttle doing this number. Now, from what I understand, you're able to use the escape shuttle shields as your own. If I am right about that, I'll have to take and do a look. Outer Rim Pioneer. Friendly ships at range 0 to 1 can perform attacks at range 0 of obstacles. Interesting. L3 again, if you are not shielded, same thing. And a red coordinate action for this that I just noticed. That's nice. And then we've got the calculate action, which is kind of like a poor man's focus. Instead of flipping all your focus, you just get to flip 1 focus. So instead of having the focus action, it's calculate, so it kind of reduces it. This is the one that I was talking about, the autopilot drone, and equivalent to old version 1.0 X-Wing, this would be like a 6-point ship. So it's 12 points in this. So it's interesting, and you can see it's got 3 charges there on it. Once you run out of that 3rd charge, each ship, not just enemy ships, at range 0 to 1 suffers a critical damage. So that's how people are able to force some bombs through. Our cards with our pre-done up ships, so it's neat that they've got those included in there. And then we've got some upgrades, composure, intimidation. A lot of these we've seen before. Chewbacca, crew card, L3, Lando. And some of these are cards that are not included in the conversion kits. And this is, again, something I'm kind of like, about. I get it, the ship's new, but I don't know. It's to me, it's like, okay, hey, there are these other cool upgrade cards. Buy another Millennium Falcon. Now you'll have 3. Yeah. Because you could have subbed in something else as like the escape shuttle. Seasoned Navigator, Han Solo. I've seen a lot of people run this. Before you engage, you may perform a red focus action. Now that's actually a nice upgrade there. Agile Gunner, rigged cargo chute with 1 charge on it, and that's where you drop that template using the 1. Tactical Scrambler, and Lando's Millennium Falcon. 1 escape craft may dock with you. While you have an escape craft docked, you may spend its shields as if they were on your ship card. While you perform a primary attack against a stressed ship, roll 1 additional die. So that's neat right there. Gotta say, good ship. I'm definitely looking forward to getting it to the table, and it seems rather cost effective from what I have seen on the app itself. You can get this ship to the table relatively cheaply. I mean, you still gotta get some upgrades on it, but all things considered, it's not costing you a fortune. But I think some of the cost is actually factored into this escape craft that I still don't know how to undock. And I don't, God, there's got to be something. I know someone's going to be laughing at me like, dummy, you're doing it wrong. It feels like it's locked in there, but I know you can pull this thing off. You guys can see it right there. See where it splits off? I'm going to have to probably poke around with it off camera because I don't want to take and break it on camera. and have everybody laugh at me for breaking the damn thing. What the hell? How does it come off? Here we go. Damn. You have to pull the damn thing. It was on there snugger and shit. So here's our Millennium Falcon that everybody knows and loves and has seen, 100 times before, with its little escape shuttle knocked off. So you can fly this around as its own ship with some actually relatively decent stats, Z-Wing stats on it, or use it like, I like those little engines there at the back of that. Check that out. See that actually looks pretty good. Or use it as, like I said, a floating bomb, and then you just pop that thing back on there. So just so you know, it pulls straight out. All right, so once you get it out, it actually comes in and out a lot easier. There we go. But that's it. That's the Millennium Falcon, new version of it. I gotta say, I like it. It's a Scum version of the Falcon, which, I mean, they're outlaws in the movie, so you kind of expect it. Definitely looking forward to getting this one on the table and trying it out. All right, that's going to be it for me. You guys take care. I'll catch you in the next one.